They said it was impossible. They said,
you can't put together the most elite team of comic book reviewers on the planet and do, a podcast or something like that?
Despite all that, today we can proudly announce. Yeah, they were right. We couldn't do it. So instead, we brought you the most vile, ignorant, unprofessional group of comic book enthusiasts we could find. This is Panel to Panel, the Game Rage Magazine comic podcast.
Oh, yeah. Let's get it rocking and rolling. Welcome to Panel, the newest episode. Today we're going to be talking about the Immortal Hulk number 6. My name's Josh. I'm here with Adam.
Greetings.
If you want to hear all of our other stuff that we do, you can go to GameRageMagazine.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine, Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag, YouTube, Game Rage Magazine, because everything is on there. It's probably the easiest way if you have a YouTube to watch our shit. Additionally, you can go to All Gas No Trash Official on Instagram and follow Adam, and you can also go and listen to the All Gas No Trash music podcast. So, good. Done. All right, let's get down to business. The Immortal Hulk, number 6. Man, look at this cover. Smashing his dad in the mirror as the Hulk.
Father Banner. I don't know what his first name is.
Yeah, Father Banner. And we always start off with this quote. This one is, "For I do not exist. There exist but the thousands of mirrors that reflect me."
That's fucking deep, man.
Deep as fuck. Vladimir Nabokov, The Eye.
I almost want to read some of this shit because I'm like, damn, that's some profound shit because nobody really knows the real you. It's all smoke and mirrors.
Everything's smoke and mirrors. Like, you don't even exist. There's like the version of you that, like, are you even you anymore? Like, at that point, you're just the fuck, man, all we are is just the perception of the fucking cones and rods in our eyes and the way the light reflects off of them. That's all we are, is just the perception of what we are to others. Even so, for our personality, it's all just smoke and mirrors, like you said. Jesus Christ, I'm gonna have a fucking mental breakdown now because of this fucking comic book.
So we open with the issue reflecting Bruce Banner reflecting on his own death, about how he exploded in the fucking gamma radiation and shit. And doing so with the gamma radiation, he opened a portal or unlocked something that day for the opposite or shadow self. Stronger than himself, too strong for fucking death to claim. And we have Bruce Banner stooped over his rank fucking motel room with his eyes fucking glazed, presumably having stayed up all night so that he doesn't let the big guy out. Because now night is his time.
Oh, yeah.
So the Hulk is powerful when the night happens, and he claims he has foggy memories, a hazy memory about things that happen. And on the other side of a glass door, you see the Hulk just kind of trapped in this transparent prison, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And we are reintroduced to the idea about the logical thinking and the unlogical thinking, the magic thinking, the magical part being the Hulk, and then the logical side being Bruce Banner himself. I got to see what was written up top. Was anything? Oh yeah, just that he believes that the Hulk is smarter than him, and that the reason that he's getting these hunches about these people that he's encountering about the gamma radiation, they manifest in the form of hunches, gut feelings, synchronicities, or intuitive connections. So it almost seems like Bruce Banner is not really in control, that it's only a matter of time before
he doesn't exist. It's just the Hulk, you know?
If he doesn't exist, or it's just the Hulk gets to come out at will.
Yeah.
So now he's just trying to stay up at night. He's got these fucking bags under his eyes and shit.
Looks haggard as fuck.
Yeah.
The Hulk is getting pissed. He's fucking smashing in the glass prison or whatever, and he's like, oh, that's new.
Yeah.
Haven't seen that shit before.
And I will say that this contrasting Daredevil, I think the artist for this book is Lee Garbett, who's like the substitute artist for Joe Bennett.
Yeah.
This is actually not bad. Like, this isn't egregious art. Like, it's pretty fucking decent.
Yeah.
And it gets the story across effectively, and while simultaneously not being shitty.
Yeah, not like that other fucking issue where it was the fucking fucked up art from like 18 different people.
Yeah.
That was terrible. But anyways, yeah, he's basically been saying he's been doing the hard work of surviving, and the Hulk's been on the inside just banging on some fucking mirror like an asshole. And he's like, man, I ain't letting this dude out. He's like, whatever it was that we took from Lankowski is something came back inside me. I can like feel it. Like something came back. And he's like, I don't know what the fuck that is.
And he also drained any gamma radiation in his body. So he sucked all the gamma radiation, and Walter Lankowski is just Walter Lankowski. He has no Sasquatch alter ego or nothing like that. And as you were saying, we are introduced to the idea that there is even a deeper opposite self or darker version, the Hulk looking into yet another mirror. So it's like it's like stacking each on top of each other. It's like Bruce Banner looking into glass and seeing the Hulk, and the Hulk looking into
that same glass, and he sees his father. Yeah. Which is fucking crazy. And he's like, man, he's like, I got to talk to this motherfucker. He's like, we need to do this. He's like, well, we used to be able to do diplomatic conferences, but now he's like, I got to use other things. And he's like, all right, let me just fucking do this. He uses his pen on this fucking thing or a marker, and he just lets his hand go, and it's like his unconscious moving it. And he looks at the paper, and it just says home. And he's like, where the fuck is home? Like, what do you mean? And then we go back out to California in this fucking dingy fucking, I don't know what this is, like some kind of double wide trailer or some shit bungalow thing. And then it's like a newscast talking about, oh, more sightings of the Hulk. And then
this is Betty Ross, his wife, who is coming to find out that her husband's not fucking dead.
And she's like, God damn it. She's like, it isn't him. He's like, it's not him. Don't fucking keep doing it to yourself. He's not back from the dead. If he were back, he would had to have come and told me something.
Yeah.
And then it glitches out like we're watching this on a TV screen, which is this is a cool little effect. And then we go back to somewhere where it just says elsewhere, and you got these assholes hanging upside down. They're connected to all these fucking machines.
Oh man, this made me uncomfortable. Like the fact that there's wires in the sockets, the eye sockets, and there's like these ominous figures that are gathering data on where the Hulk could be. Oh man, it just makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, man, nightmare fuel for sure.
Yeah, it's giving me goosebumps right now.
Yeah, and so it's these assholes that are talking about that they're monitoring stuff. Like this is some like government facility somewhere. Mm-hmm. And that they're basically just like, oh yeah, we're just monitoring everybody. We're just talking. We're just just watching people and seeing what happens and making sure that we maybe try to find the Hulk. And so then we get into this thing with these two guys.
Well, it's also mentioned that General Ross.
Oh yeah,
is the woman that just spoke, who's also the Hulk's wife, Betty Ross. That's her father.
Yeah.
And wait, what does it say about him? Oh, they mentioned that Bruce Banner hasn't seen his good buddy Rick Jones since he fucking died.
That's right. Because they're monitoring all the places that if he were back, like he would go.
Yeah, and from World War Hulk, his son Scar, and I'm sure he would have ran into Thunderbolt Ross at some point, but
yeah,
they're just like, well, we're figuring that out. So then we cut over to this scene.
Yeah, with General Fordian, and he said, man, even these monitors got to be monitored, man. Who's watching the watchers? Like, that's, He's like, these motherfuckers need unquestioned dedication. And here they are fucking having bullshit conversations with each other. This is unacceptable. And he opens up the door and he's like, you know what? He basically tells him, you're fucking fired. Like, get the fuck out of here. He's like, have your shit plaqued. I'm going to have your implant procedures reversed, and we're going to fucking send you back to sanitation to get your fucking mind wiped so you don't fucking remember any of this shit. And he's like, basically, the rest of you assholes, the rest of you, those people are not innocent bystanders. They're not civilians. They're not friendly. They have all given fucking assistance to the goddamn Hulk. And you need to fucking remember that. They're the enemy, all right? And then one of the guys just goes like, sorry, brah. Like, that's hilarious. And then he says, this other guy who's the scientist dude, I'm assuming, I don't remember what his fucking name is, if he even says what his name is. He's like, hey, man. He's like, you think the general would fucking have an issue with this shit, you know, with us spying on his daughter and doing all this stuff? And so he goes on to basically say, like, it's not his deal to know. That's why he fucking hired me to do this, because he's got other things to do. He's got to focus on the Steve Rogers situation, which, what the fuck is he referencing in that instance?
When Steve Rogers became part of Hydra, I think.
Is that happening like currently while this is going on?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I guess it's...
If I'm not mistaken, I'm not entirely sure. I'm kind of hazy on what things were happening when this book came out, but if I'm not mistaken, that's when Steve Rogers became part of Hydra.
So he's basically just saying, like, the Hulk operations, he needs to leave him to his trusty second in command, which is me. And that's what we're going to do. And he's got plausible deniability. And he's like, basically, he just goes on to say that this is the people got, like, everybody freaked out about this whole gamma base thing. They weren't too thrilled with how that was run back in the day. Man, if they knew about this place, this shadow base, which is even more top secret, buddy, we'd all be fucking fucked. And he says, basically, nothing's off the table when it comes to the security of America, and that when the enemy acts, we have to do the same shit. We have to clap back. And then we see this little, like, green irradiated fucking, like, I don't know,
beast of some sort.
Skull. Yeah, and then he's in this thing and he's like, basically he says, like, I fought him when he was Hulk, and he's like, I found the truth, and he's like, Ross turned himself into the same kind of monster he was fighting. But by doing that, he almost achieved victory. The only mistake that he made was one Hulk was not enough, basically. One monster's not enough to take out the Hulk. Like, you got to have two of them. And so they go on to talk about how basically they are trying to replicate the Hulk. Like, they're trying to do what Lankowski did. They're trying to get another one of these on their side, basically. Trying to study it. Hell, maybe even trying to figure out how to make a whole goddamn army of Hulks and go take over the rest of the goddamn world. Who knows? But
they use this guy from issue 2, the Del Fry gentleman who was buried like 100 feet deep.
Yeah.
And they're going to use him as their
like the guinea
case
pig. Or the case study, yeah.
Of what they could do with, like, a gamma radiated individual.
Yeah, if they could harness it or if they could do something with it. Then we come back over to the Alpha Flight station out in space. And Lankowski is basically just, I don't want to say he's getting interrogated, but
the shaman fellow's trying to figure out, like, hey, where's that Sasquatch fellow out? And he's like, man, he's fucking gone. You don't have any of that shit.
Yeah, he is gone, man. Like, you got nothing, dude. You got jack and shit. And he's like, I thought this was like some weird psychological thing, like some weird version of it. But he's like, I don't know, man. He's like, I didn't fucking kill those people, dude. I didn't choose to do it. That was this other thing. And now they're kind of just like, maybe, like, you kind of made the choice to do this. So technically, I mean, you did kill them, even though it was some other entity or whatever. And he's like,
And the reporter's there as well.
the reporter. They brought her along, obviously, for some fucking reason. And she's like, listen, bitch, I didn't want to get stabbed. I didn't decide that. Dying was not the voluntary act, right? He's like, that was involuntary. So now everybody's just like, all right, let's just, calm our tits here. And who the fuck's this guy again?
I forget his name.
Right.
I don't know if they've actually introduced him proper.
Maybe right, but he definitely has cauliflower ear, that's for sure. So fucking, the reporter's going on to talk about how the stabbing seemed like it was too random, like there wasn't like it didn't make sense, which it kind of didn't make sense when we were watching that go down.
Because it escalated from just them conversing
to then
just he got stabbed.
Yeah, and it's like, man, did the thing that was inside of him make that happen? Like,
yeah,
can they affect things in the real world now? I guess basically, or in our world, not the real world, but in our world. And so they're basically just saying, like, man, that thing that took your body, it made it a weapon of murder, right? It took you and it made you a murderer. And
it wasn't Tanarak, it was something beyond that.
Yeah, it was something different. He's like, what does he call it? Creation's other face, the face we cannot bear to see, the one below all. And then the reporter's just like, come on, man. You talking about like dark forces possessing people? Get the fuck out of here. And this guy's like, hey, man, don't knock it until you try it, basically.
Yeah,
like,
he's seen that shit, and it scares the fuck out of him.
Yeah. And
Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel, yeah. Captain Marvel rolls up, and she's like, yo, I got some questions for this motherfucker. And she's basically like, hey, I just talked to this general who's in charge of the Hulk operations, and basically
he has two options.
Yeah.
He can go with her, or they're gonna they're gonna extradite him. They're gonna get him one or two ways, peacefully or not.
Yeah, and they're basically saying, like, listen, we need your gamma signature to fucking track the Hulk. So either you can come with us and give us that, or we're just going to kill you, essentially. And so he's like, God damn it, man. Like, he's like, fucking, the shaman guy's talking about how he's like, well, guess we don't really have much of a choice. Like, I guess you just got to fucking do this, but...
So sorry, I must the real deal is that if he goes with them willingly, he's exonerated and no problems. If he doesn't, then they're going to take him instead and use him as a means to understand the Hulk, even though he's not fucking gamma radiated anymore.
Right, yeah. And so she says, well, we don't have the power of Sasquatch to defeat the Hulk, but there's my other team, she says. And then we go to Iowa, and it's Banner walking down this lonely road, talking about how night's the Hulk's time again. And he's like, God, it's so clear. He's like, fuck it, we're just going home. The place of his power, the place he's strongest at. And he's just like, fuck it, man. He's like, I can hitchhike, get some small back roads maybe. He's like, go to Nebraska, Colorado, then down into, and he's like holding out his thumb like the thing, and then it just starts getting bright. And you kind of saw it in the distance. You saw this like thing in the distance.
Flaming orb or glowing orb.
And then he's like, wait a minute. He turns back, he's like, that's not a car. And then of course it's Captain Marvel telling him, oh, hey there, Bruce. And he's like, Carol, a pleasure, huh? He's like, oh, or is this business? And he says, the Avengers have been very good at leaving me alone since I came back. And she says, well, the Hulk helped save the world, Bruce. It earned you a lot of rope. But that was a very different set of Avengers. And if I'm being honest, your rope's about to run out. And then you just see fucking Hulkbuster fucking Iron Man suit, Black Panther, goddamn fucking Ghost Rider.
I actually don't know who's that in the background.
This one?
Yeah, that might be Thor, the other Thor. I forgot her name, Jane Foster.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what she's doing there.
Yeah, who knows? She had to catch a ride with Thor, that's for sure. And then we got Captain America. And then he says, Oh no, wait. This is what's her name?
It's fucking Betty. That's right. Yeah.
The Lady Hulk.
Oh my God.
It's Lady Hulk.
She-Hulk. My bad.
Yeah, Lady
fucking
Hulk.
A, dude.
Yeah. He's like, at 2 Gen, like, you dumb bitch. The way to go, fucking, you just ruined it. She's like, disappointed, you're disappointed. And then she fucking starts getting crazy, like,
Yeah.
I almost was in a coma, you son of a bitch. And then she starts to Hulk out, and then the fucking Thor's just like, yo, just relax. And she says, look, Captain Marvel says, listen, we're not here to hurt you. We want to help, but we need you to come with us. And he's like, are you sure? He's like, right this moment? Because the sun's down, right? It's nighttime.
Big guy's ready to come out.
It's his time. And she's like, yeah, I've spoken to these people, Bruce. We studied the sightings. We know the pattern. Every sighting, it's the same. Night's the Hulk's time. But to see the Hulk free, Bruce Banner has to die. And that's just not going to happen, Bruce. And then this is such a great way to end this. But that's my secret, Captain. I'm already dead.
Yeah.
God, that was so good. Just, it's the classic, that's my secret. I'm always angry. Like, and then he fucking just rips into the Hulk. Action/reaction.
Lee Garbett. Yeah, this was a cool issue because, this next fucking issue.
Oh, man, this is going to be, shit's about to pop off, man. Look at this. This cover preview thing is fucking cool as shit, man.
This is a good issue. I can remember it.
Yeah, I also don't like how they have Iron Man in his regular ass armor now.
Even though he has
was
this
the
Hulk
Hulkbuster.
buster.
Yeah, like what the fuck, idiots? That was a fucking miscommunication.
Yeah, I can't remember. So obviously Captain America is himself, but fuck, what the fuck were they referring to? Was it before or after?
Well,
when
maybe
they were talking about Thunderbolt Ross. They're like, oh,
yeah,
I was dealing with
the
the Hulk.
Steve Rogers situation. Maybe this isn't Steve Rogers though. Maybe it's a different guy who's Captain America.
I don't even remember. I still think it's the Hydra thing, but anyways, if I understand it correctly, Civil War II was happening, I think either before or after, and part of the story was that Hulk had to get killed, and Clint Barton or Hawkeye was assigned to kill him. Because I don't remember if the story itself was about stopping crime as a thought, like they knew this particular hero knew what was going to happen with somebody. And Hulk was going to be one of those people that was going to do something bad. So like, we'll just kill him now.
Yeah.
And he won't be an issue. And now he's back. And well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyways, this is a banger. This is a good one. And it was a good way to end it too, man. It ended on that nice cliffhanger to like get you fucking, they're about to see some shit go down. Anyways, so that'll be it for us. If you want to listen to all of our other podcasts, you can go to GameRageMagazine.com where you can hear all of our good stuff. And you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine, Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag, YouTube, Game Rage Magazine. Everything is there. That's the best place to go. Also, follow Adam at All Gas No Trash Official, and you can go listen to the All Gas No Trash podcast only on every device that you could possibly listen to it on. So literally everything. All right, that's the end of it. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
Yep. Peace out.
That was Panel to Panel, the Game Rage Magazine comic book podcast. Thanks for listening. If you want to know more and follow along, go to Instagram and TikTok. Follow at Game Rage Magazine. If you want to follow on Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. Tune in next time.